Good day, dear students. My name is Annette van Heerden. I am your tutor in the Diploma in Pre and Junior Primary Education, Mother Tongue Literacy and Development 1, DPP DJP MT1 English. This is a content-based contact session that will help you in the examinations of 2018 in all 3 examinations. Welcome to this very important module. Literacy development is the most important subject for any junior primary teacher, as this forms the basis for reading, and reading is the pathway for learning throughout the child's school and tertiary career. The purpose of this module is to develop a theoretical understanding of the mother tongue and second language development. In this presentation, I will provide assistance to all 3 examination papers of 2018. All examination papers are combined for the 2 courses, DPPE and DJPE. As the content of the 2 study guides differ a lot, this was not easy. I therefore had to make use of choice questions, where I could not find enough similar content in both the study guides. So when answering a choice question, you must choose the part of the question that occurs in your specific course's study guide and answer only that. The content of this presentation. First, I want to give you suggestions on how to study. Then I want to give you a cue to answer a good exam paper and how to use the verb in the question to give the correct answers. Then I will help you to know what to do with the choice questions. Then I will tell you how to answer the grammar questions. And then I will give a summary of your study material. Your question paper and your technical aspects will be handled last. And then how and when you could contact me. Suggestions on how to study. You cannot pass this subject if you do not know the content of this study guide. You cannot start studying only 1 day before the examination. So, after receiving your study guide, immediately summarize the content. Then, read through your summary at least once a week. About 2 months before the examination, start your studying. Do not try to study the whole content in 1 day, but divide it into portions that you can handle. Then re-study the content on a regular basis to ensure that you remember it. Do not try to write MT1 and MT2 in the same examination. Rather pay enough attention to one at a time in order to pass your examination. Please students, many students try to write MT1 and MT2 in the same examination, and then they fail both of them. The cue to answer a very good exam paper is: study your IOL study guide very well. Also, study the work that was summarized in this exam-based context session. You can also find this on the portal. Then, study the corrected questions in your returned assignment, as 20% can be in the examination again. Read the questions in the paper until you understand what is asked. Lots of students do not understand what is asked in the questions. Answer in your own words means construct the correct facts from your study guide in your own words. It does not mean make up your own facts and stories to write down. So while constructing the facts in your own words, make sure that you do not lose some important facts of the specific question. To avoid this, list and number the facts underneath each other wherever possible. But note, this listing cannot be done when you are asked to write an essay. Please remember, my marking cannot help you pass your exam. I mark according to a memorandum and my work is being moderated. I cannot give you marks when the correct facts is not written down. Only you can help yourself pass the examination by studying all your work every day. Very hard. So please students, do not write me a little note in your exam paper, please ma'am help me to pass, because I cannot do that. If you failed the previous exam, make sure that you obtain the report on marking from the IOL officers to find out what you did wrong, or send me an email and ask for the report. Understanding how to answer a question. Every exam paper is set in 3 levels of difficulty: level 1, level 2, and level 3. These levels are usually indicated by the specific verb that leads the question. In the front part of your study guide, you will find a list of verbs and what is expected of you when I use every specific verb. You will have to study this list, or you will lose the marks when not knowing what to do. The levels in your exam paper is divided as follows: level 1, 60%, level 2, 30%, and level 3, 10%. How to use the verbs in your answer. I'm going to explain the verbs that is most commonly used. For level 1, you get the verbs list and name. Here you only name the content or make a list. Then you also get define, describe, outline, explain, summarize, identify. Here you just give the description or the explanation or the identifying that you studied in your study guide. Nothing else is needed for level 1 verbs. But for level 2 verbs, they are discuss, analyze, comment, examine, design, create, investigate, and demonstrate. With these verbs, you must still use the facts from your study guide, but you cannot only give the facts as it is. Some other actions is needed. For example, when asked discuss, give a clear description of the facts and then argue about the features or discuss the features. For examine, identify the detailed features of something. That means you give the facts and then you discuss them according to a given direction and drawing a conclusion. Use the list in your study guide to find out what you will have to do with every of the verbs that I named above. In level 3, you have to do more than level 2. Evaluate means you determine the value or the worth or the quality or the success of something according to a certain criteria. Compare means you indicate the similarities and the resemblances and the differences of the phenomena regarding particular criteria. You draw a conclusion about the similarities and the differences, but you emphasize the similarities. Very often, a table format is used to compare the phenomena. Then you put the one on the one side of the table, you put the other on the other side of the table. Make sure that the facts, that the similarities are next to each other. And then at the end of the table, you write a conclusion. If you are asked to compare some facts to your classroom, make sure that you indicate which of these facts you have found in your class. If you do not have a class yet, go to your local school and find a support teacher who can help you with the questions. Discuss critically. Here, the students have to provide the facts in positive and in negative points and draw a conclusion. You first write down the positive facts, then negative, write down the negative points, and then you write the word conclusion and draw a conclusion. With determine, you use the information given to work out an answer. Distinguish, differentiate, and contrast. Here you also describe the two phenomena or the things according to the relevant criteria. But in other than compare, you point out clearly the differences between the two sets. With compare, you put the claim on the similarities, but with distinguish and differentiate and contrast, you put the claim on the differences. It is very important that you know what to do with all the verbs, as not knowing this will cause you losing marks. The choice questions will look as follows. Answer only one of the following questions. Judy Hayes conducted a study on the 5 stages of second language acquisition. Name and describe these 5 stages. Or, David Crystal's theory on child language acquisition involves 5 stages. Describe these stages according to him. You will then find that Judy Hayes is in the Diploma Pre-Primary Education Study Guide, and that David Crystal is in the Diploma of Junior Primary Study Guide. So you look, if you are pre-primary, you answer Judy Hayes. If you are junior primary, you answer David Crystal. You answer only the one that applies to your course, because if you answer both, only the first one will be marked. Please make sure that you know which one is in your study guide, because I find lots of DJPE students that answer the question on Judy Hayes, and then they don't have the facts that was in the study guide of Judy Hayes, and then they lose valuable marks. Important work to study in the study guide. In every exam paper there is a grammar question. Students really struggle to answer this, and therefore I'm now going to explain how to answer this in depth. The question might look like this. Use the given sentence and provide each with A specific function, and B, all the examples from the sentence. Now here, with number 1.1, verb, you must give A where you tell me what is the function of the verb. The function of the verb is an action or a state. And then number B, you must take the verbs from the given sentence. Now for this instance, the given sentence, he ran fast to the blue gate and closed it slowly. So the 2 verbs is the 2 actions. He ran and he closed. So with B, you write only ran and closed. Write only the words that you know is the verb. You cannot write the whole sentence and make me choose which word is the verb. Show the example clearly. The second one is a noun. Again, as asked previously, with number A, you must give me the work of a noun, the function of a noun. A noun is a thing or a person. Now you go to the sentence. He ran fast to the blue gate and closed it slowly. So, gate is the noun there. Each time just give the specific word. Do not write down the whole sentence. Then the adverb. An adverb describes a verb. Adverb. Add to the verb. Describes the verb. So let us have a look. The verb is ran. What word describe ran? How does the boy ran? The boy ran fast. So fast is the first adverb that in the sentence. And the other verb is closed. So you go to closed. How did he close the gate? He closed it slowly. So slowly is the other adverb. A pronoun replaces a noun. It means instead of saying the boy, you say he or it. Let's look at the sentence again. He ran fast and closed it. The 2 pronouns. A preposition. The work of a preposition is to link a noun to another word. And in the sentence, if you go back to the sentence, he ran fast to the blue gate. What is the noun? The blue gate. And he ran to the gate. So the preposition is to. Then the adjective. An adjective describes the noun. Adverb describe the verb, and adjective describe the noun. It tells you something about the noun. The noun in this sentence is gate. And which word tells you more about gate? Blue, because the gate is blue. The next one is conjunction. Conjunction is a place where two things are glued together. So the work of a conjunction is it links two sentences or clauses or words together. And the conjunction in this sentence is and. Another question can be as follows. Provide each of the following parts of language with a short explanation, that's number A, as well as an example from the given sentence. Again, we have the sentence, he ran fast to the blue gate and closed it slowly. Now I'm asking you the main sentence. Now, the explanation for a main sentence is a sentence with a subject, a verb, and an object. So, here are two little parts of sentence in this sentence. He ran fast to the blue gate, and is the word that links the two together, closed it slowly. In the sentence, he ran fast to the blue gate, you get the subject, he. What did he do? The verb, ran fast. And the object, where did he run to? To the blue gate. So the main sentence is, he ran fast to the blue gate. Now, the next one I'm asking is the phrase. A phrase is a group of words that do not have both a subject and a verb. So either the subject can be left out or the verb can be left out. So now we had the main sentence, he ran fast to the blue gate, and what remains is, and closed it slowly. Closed and slowly is a verb, but do you see any subject there? No. If there was a subject, it would have been a separate sentence, he closed it slowly. But he is only in the first sentence. So the second part without the subject is the phrase, and closed it slowly. The subject is the person doing the deed. We did that already. That's he. He is the person doing it. The object is what is being done to. He, and the verb he do is ran fast, and to what? To the blue gate. So the object is the blue gate. Another sentence that we can do in this way is change the given sentence into the following tenses. I catch the ball that my sister throws. Past tense. The past tense of catch is not catched, it's caught. I caught the ball that my sister threw. The future tense, I shall catch. And please, students, remember, I shall, we shall, all the others will. I shall catch the ball that my sister will throw. Please do not put the pieces of the sentence before one another. Some students say, I caught the ball that had been thrown by my sister. Do not reverse the words. Leave the word in the position that it is, because otherwise you will not receive your marks. Then the present continuous tense. Continuous is the ing tense. With present continuous, it is am, is, or are, and ing. So in this sentence, I am catching the ball that my sister is throwing. If it was like I catch the ball that the boys throw, then it would have been I am catching the ball that the boys are throwing. Because for more people, you use the word are. Only I get the word am. One person is, more than one is are. Okay, then the past continuous tense. The catching stays the same, but the verb in front of catching change to the past. So I was catching the ball that my sister was throwing. And again, please make sure you don't shuffle the words. You cannot say I was catching the ball that had been thrown to my sister, or my sister threw the ball that I was catching. Do not put the words in places that they were not in the, leave it as it is in the sentence above. Make sure that you know the difference between the present tense and the present continuous tense. Continuous is the tense with the ing words. The following parts of speech can also be tested: the verb, the noun, the pronoun, the adverb, the adjective, the preposition, and the conjunction that I explained to you. Then the main sentence, the phrase, the subject, and the object that I explained to you. Then the tenses: past tense, present tense, future tense, present continuous tense, past continuous tense, and I can also use future continuous tense. That is like will be catching. Also very important to study and be able to do the following to different sentences. Punctuation. I can give you a sentence without any punctuation marks and ask you to put it in. Capitalization. Then sentence structure. Sentence construction, conjunctions, determiners, qualifiers, spelling. I can give a sentence with a lot of words spelled wrong and ask you to correct the spelling. Synonyms, different synonyms for one word. Opposites. Next is a summary of the most important work in the study guides in question form. Read carefully to see when it's applicable for DPPE students and when it is for the DJPE students. Use the rest that I give to find the answers in your study guide. For example, if I say E1 NO122, then it means Unit 1, heading number 1.2.2. The verbs that will indicate what is expected of you in each question will be typed in bold. See your study guide to know what is expected when using each verb. Also remember, the verbs can change. In the same question, I can use different verbs and you will have to give different outcomes. The first one, in the DJP number 1.1 or DPP number 4.1, give an overview of the language families found in Namibia. There you just give an overview. It's just how it stands in your study guide. You do not have to do anything else. The next one, DPP Unit 1, number 4.4, paragraph 1. Explain the theory of first language acquisition. With explain, you cannot give only the facts. You do have to give an explanation of each of the facts. Please be reminded not to leave out some of the facts, but instead give everyone something like an explanation afterwards. DJP number 1.3, culture. Define what you understand under the term culture. Only a definition as it is in your study guide. This is level 1. DJP 1.3 paragraph 9 and number 2.2 paragraph 1. Explain the term cultural identity. Now first you have to explain the term. Put the facts down, give an explanation on each. And then also listing the factors that influence cultural identity. Now, listing means only make a list underneath each other. Only write down the factors. There you don't have to explain anything. And then lastly, and explaining the factors that influence our personal worldview. Not the factors that influence cultural identity, the factors that influence our personal worldview. Again, the facts plus an explanation. DJP number 1.2, paragraph 7. Describe. Describe is only a level 1 verb, and you can only put down the facts from your study guide. Describe the 5 language registers and give examples of each. You write down the register and next to it give an example. DPP, Unit 1, number 4.3. Explain how cultural diversity and identity are reflected in language by looking at the role of mother tongue as well as English-only education. You must explain the cultural diversity and identity when you look at mother tongue, and then explain it again. How will it be in English-only education? DPP, Unit 1, number 4.4.1. Judy Haynes conducted a study on the 5 stages of second language acquisition. Name and describe these 5 stages. Here you only have to name it and give the description as it is in your study guide. But remember, in the place of describe, I can also say discuss. Then you will have to discuss each of the facts that you wrote down. Actually, you will receive more marks when you discuss than describe. So, DPP, Unit 1, number 4.4.1. Discuss. This is level 2. Some useful suggestions for the activities and teaching in stage 2, the early production of second language learning, given by Judy Haynes. Here I need a discussion. Put down the suggestions one by one and then discuss each of them. You don't need to have a long page-long discussion on each. You can just write like 2 sentences to discuss each. DJP number 1.4, David Crystal's theory on child language acquisition involved 5 stages. Describe these stages according to him. Or I can ask you discuss these stages. Or if I want it to be a level 3 question, I can ask you to discuss these critically. Then you will have to take the facts in the stages and divide them in a positive and a negative part. The next one, DPP, Unit 1, number 4.4.3.1. Haldenseth divided sequential second language into 4 stages. Name and discuss each stage, comparing each to your class. Also mentioning the founding of researchers. Okay, what do you have to do here? First, you have to name each one of the 4 stages. Then you have to discuss. Remember, not describe, discuss. So you must put down the facts and then a small discussion on each fact in each of the stages. And then with every stage, you must compare each to your class. Just tell me, in your class, this does not happen, or in your class, it happens like this or this. If you do not have a class, again, go find yourself a tutor teacher. Then at the end of the discussions on the stages, you must mention a part of the founding of the researchers. The researchers found that, and then go on there. The next question, DPP Unit 1, number 4.5, and also in DJP number 1.5. Discuss the national language policy with regard to mother tongue up to grade 4. Okay, again, not describe, discuss. So you need to discuss the facts. Students, the national language policy is not something that you can experience in your class. It is the policy that was written by the Ministry of Education. It is like a document that you will receive to say, from pre-primary grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3, teaching will take place in the mother tongue. But English will also be tutored in these grades. and so forth. Every time I find students just telling me what they are doing in the class, that is not ours. This is a policy. It is actually an administrative document that you must discuss. The next one, DJP number 1.4. In Stephen Krashen's theory of second language acquisition, he discussed multilingual education, MLE, and a 4-stage program. So the first part of the question is, discuss MLE and these 4 stages, not describe. Describe, then you can just use the facts from the study guide, but now I want you to discuss every fact in these 4 stages. After you have discussed the 4 stages, you must state what research has shown. So you can start that with research has shown that, and then tell us what research has shown. But look at the last part of this question. Compare this to your class. Go back to the 4 stages. At the end of every stage, give a comparison to your class or to your tutor teacher's class before you state what research has shown. The next one, DJP number 1.4. Discuss critically what is understood under the term vocabulary acquisition. Remember, this verb, discuss critically, requires that you divide the facts in positive and negative ones and then give a conclusion at the end of that. If you do not do that, you will not receive marks. The next one, choose one of the following approaches to develop literacy and discuss this approach. The first one, constructivist learning or language experience approach. This is a choice question. Constructivist learning comes from the DPP study guide in Unit 2, number 4.2. There you will get the answer to this. But if you are a DJP student, go to number 2.3 and there you will find the language experience approach. DJP students, please do not answer the one on constructivist learning. DPP students, do not answer the one on the language experience approach. Look which one is yours and answer that one. DPP Unit 2, number 4.4, the bullets. How can you as a teacher promote fluent speech and the use of a variety of vocabulary? I can ask you, describe how can you as a teacher. I can ask you, discuss how can you as a teacher. I can ask you, outline how can you as a teacher. Or I can ask you, discuss critically or examine any of the verbs. That is why you should be able to know what to do with all the verbs. The next question. In the DPP study guide, Unit 2, number 4.3, and in the DJP study guide, number 2.4, define and discuss the alphabetic principle and its importance in early literacy development. First, you have to give me a definition of the alphabetic principle, and then you need to discuss the importance in early literacy development. DPP Unit 2, number 4.4 and Unit 3, Learning Activity 6, How Children Learn Words and Vocabulary and Literacy. And in the DJP, this will be in number 2.5. Analyze the relationship between oral language and literacy learning. Analyze means compare them. Take them and put them together next to each other in a table and compare the two. DPP Unit 2, number 4.6.2, paragraph 1, 2, and 3, and in the DJP, number 3.3. Explain why only informal and formative assessment are suitable to assess young children. and describe what is meant by informal and formative assessment. Students, there's a vast difference between formative assessment and formal assessment. Formal assessment is not suitable for young children, but formative is. Make sure you know what the difference is. The next one, DPP and DJP. Be able to define the following terms in the language structure throughout your study guide. I don't give you page numbers or heading numbers here because it's all throughout the study guide. So you need to look for them. You must know what is phonetic alphabet. You must know what is phonetics. You must know what is phonemes. You must know what is phonology. Note that these four are really the same, nearly the same, but each have a different meaning. They are really, really not the same, even if they look so. Then morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. In the DJP study guide number 3.4, and this question can also be asked to the DPP students, but for this question, you must answer from practical experience in a pre-primary classroom. And again, if you do not have a classroom, go to the school and look for a tutor teacher to help you with this. First, describe how the thematic integrated approach to the pre-primary education works. This means you must describe how will you teach a thematic approach. And then the second part, discuss the benefits of the thematic or integrated approach. Students, thematic or the integrated approach is the same approach. It can have two names. It can be thematic approach or it can be integrated approach, but it's the same thing. Go to your study guide and read through the parts and see where you can get the answers. In the DPP Unit 2 number 4.6 and in the DJP number 3.7 as well as 3.8, the learning materials. In table form, if I say that, you must make a table. List 10 different types of teaching and learning materials that you can establish in your classroom to promote preparatory and incidental reading in your class. What means establish in your classroom? That means you will have to go and make these materials. You will have to make them. And then in the adjacent column, state in which way every one of them will assist the learner in developing the language concepts. Your exam paper, the admin part thereof. All questions should be answered. Where a choice question is applicable, make sure that you answer only one of the two. Otherwise, only the first answer will be marked. Read your questions with care. Make sure you know what is expected with every verb in the question. Make sure you know your English grammar as well as the language structures. Every paper has a question on this. The technical aspects on the answering of your examination. Your exam paper consists of the following: a cover page, an instruction page, and then the questions to be answered. The cover page is divided in a left and a right column. The left column will be filled in by the tutor when marking. Please do not fill in there. The right column must be filled in by you. In the right column, the following headings can be found. And this must be filled in. Please do not leave something out. Under the heading Student Details, you must fill in the following information: your CIF or student number, then your surname, then your first name, only your first name and the initials if you have more than one name, then your ID number, then the examination center where you are writing at this very moment, and lastly, your signature. At the bottom of this page, there are some general instructions. Please read through them and make sure you understand. Number 1, questions should be answered on the question paper, in the lines underneath each question. All questions must be answered. Use the mark allocation for each question as a guide for how many facts you should write down. It is best to number the facts underneath each other, except when an essay is asked. Write neatly and legibly. If I cannot read what you wrote, I cannot allocate marks to you. Please, students, some of you have a very nice looking handwriting, but the letters in your handwriting cannot be made out. I cannot read what you wrote. Make sure that you have a readable handwriting. This paper consists of 8 pages that will differ from paper to paper, including the cover page. Please count the pages and make sure that they are all there. No cheating or disturbing. Serious steps will be taken against anyone who cheats or disturbs an examination session. Then the examination instructions. No unauthorized materials or irregularity. No asking for or giving any assistance. Don't help each other. No cell phones. Please note, don't bring your cell phone with you. No cell phones will be allowed in the exam room. If they find a cell phone with you, you will be penalized. No leaving the room in the first 30 minutes. And number 5 is again very important. No late arrivals will be allowed to write the examination. Please, set your alarm clock. Stand up early so that you can be on time to write your exam paper. The question paper or the answering paper is the property of IOL and may not be kept by you or parts thereof removed. What is happening is this. The student comes to write the exam. Then he writes question 1 and he says, oh, the rest I don't know. He tears them from the book and takes them home. This is not allowed. This is the property of IOL. If you remove it, there will be consequences. All answers should be on the IOL pages. No smoking or eating in the examination room will be allowed. And then the last one, also very, very important. Please sign the checklist. Sometimes papers get lost. If the checklist is not signed, then we think, oh, this guy didn't write. So we're not looking for the paper. If it's signed, we know we will have to go and look for the paper. Please note that tutors do not work in the IOL office. We are part-time workers who work from our homes and cannot help you with any administrative problems. I can only help you with problems concerning your subject content. I am always available for help, but if you have a question you would like to ask me, it's best to email it to me at vanheerdenfam@gmail.com. Then I can give you a well-constructed answer. Please note, I tutor different subjects in different courses and languages. Therefore, when emailing me, please name your course code, your subject code, and your semester code, like this. DJP or DPP MT1 English. Please adhere strictly to my calling times, Mondays to Tuesdays 9 to 2000 hours, Fridays only 9 to 1200 hours. Unfortunately, I will not be answering calls over the weekends as I spend weekends on the farm with limited reception. I wish you the best of luck for your examination. Thank you.